Hello everybody, I am Baltmatrix, and today we are taking a look at Studio Series Velocitron 500 Override. This figure comes from the Hasbro Pulse, and I'm surprised that I was able to get it, because a lot of the other stuff from the Hasbro Pulse has not been shipping at decent times. The overall aesthetic of the figure is exactly as I remember Override being, though from the front it looks absolutely amazing, from the side it looks okay, from the back, not so much. It looks a little off. It is very, very reminiscent of its original Cybertron figure, though that original figure had like an automatic transforming gimmick that I absolutely hated, but that's just me. The figure comes with one accessory, and that is the rear engine / spoiler that's in here real tight, though when you take it off, the car mode looks real weird. Now, this is something that I absolutely hate about some figures. If you lose one accessory, the alt mode isn't completely, useless, but it looks bad. The gun on the back transforms simply folding up this spoiler and flipping out the cannons. Unfortunately, it does not do the Cyberplanet key gimmick of plugging it in and then having the guns flip around, but it is Cyberplanet key compatible. Yes, you can fit a Cyberplanet key back here. I unfortunately don't have one to show you. Transformation of Override into robot mode is cool. I like this transformation. To start off with, come to the front of the vehicle mode, and the reason I'm doing vehicle to robot is because it's packaged in vehicle mode. So start off by unpegging the front of the vehicle, and then grab the sides here and flip them out and down, and they will snap into place. So unpeg it, fold it down, and snap that into place. Then come around to the bottom of the vehicle mode, flip out the front bumpers. These little red pieces will fold up like that, and then they will collapse into the inside of the legs, and there's a slot inside that will peg into that peg that's sticking out there. So fold it in, whoop, flip out the toe, fold it in, and bring it into place, and snap it in, and then turn the leg so that they are pointing forward, and stand your fast girl up. And I say fast girl because in the American shows for Cybertron, Override was female. In the Japanese version, Nitro Convoy was male. Kind of a reverse gender swap from what they did in Beast Wars with Air Razor. Then come to the back and unpeg the fists. They are connected to these little posts. Grab the shoulders and flip them out and around. And this is where things get a little weird. Take the entire section and fold it down, hinge it back, and then bring the entire backpack down until it snaps into place, and the hinge is pointing at an angle like that. Then unpeg the shoulders from the back, flip them up and around, and then bring them down on this hinge, and don't do anything yet. You'll see why. So unpeg the shoulder, flip it up, bring it down, grab the head and the chest, bring it down flush, and then fold the chest down. And then there is a post that the shoulder will slide in on. And that post is inside, right there. The entire chest will slide in. And then there is, and this is so weird, you have to fold it back, turn the shoulder backwards to peg into place. So instead of going flush like this, I'm turning the shoulder in to kind of go in at an angle and then snap it into place. So I'll do that again over here. So fold it down, slide it in, and there's another peg inside that the bar will peg into. And bring it back, fold it in, and wedge it in, and then that whole section will kind of go in, bring it back, push the shoulder in, get it connected, and then wedge it into place. And that's it. That's a transformation. Weird shoulder transformation, but I can't argue with the results. Override looks absolutely fantastic. I cannot argue with the way the figure looks. The black, the gold, the red, all look phenomenal. Her head sculpt is quite good as well. Very big, very just good. Head is on a swivel. Shoulder is on a swivel. Then there's a hinge, and a swivel, and another hinge, and then I forgot to turn the fists around, so they do articulate on both sides. There is limited torso articulation due to the backpack, then hinges, and figure can totally do the splits. Thigh swivel, bend at the knee over 90 degrees. Ankle articulation is limited, though it does move in and out a little bit, and then goes forward and back a little bit. This is the only pose I've been able to pull off with Override, and I think it's the pose I like the most. It's a good, fun figure. It looks really good, and honestly, it is probably the best painted figure we've gotten in a while. The weapon does have a port up top, so you can actually plug another gun into it, which is fun, and then you can actually plug this gun into another gun, which is fun. And speaking of plugging things in, there is a port on its butt for plugging into a stand. There is a 3.5 millimeter jack port, millimeter jack, 3.5 mil port back there that you can peg the weapon into, though it is deeper than most of them. And then there are 2 ports on the back of the shoulders that will work. And then there are 2 ports on the toes that will work. I don't know why they're hexagonal, though, instead of circular. Maybe that just cuts down on the amount of material needed? There's also one on each forearm, so you can weaponizer this baby up. One bit of weirdness has to do with the heels. While I do appreciate the figure having heels, they look like they're made to plug into something. It's just so weird. They've got molding here. It looks like they're supposed to slot into something, and it's not just the heels, but the entire bottom of the foot. Now, I realize that the entire, connector section does slot in. The entire connector section on the back does slot into the bottom of the foot. That's just the way the transformation works. But it also feels like it's designed to peg into something else. We'll have to wait and see. Now, originally, Override was going to be a heavy retool of Hot Rod here. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. These figures couldn't be more different. So this has been Override's robot mode. Let's get her back into vehicle mode. To start off with, grab the fists and turn them around 180 degrees so the bottom of the fists are pointing forward. Then come to the shoulders, and you got to be a little bit careful here because I feel like something is going to break if I'm not. So I like to push the shoulder in. That will then push the rest of the body away, fold it forward, and then slide it out on the pin. So do the same thing on the other side. Push the shoulder back, bring it down, slide it out on the pin, unpeg the front of the robot mode or the chest, fold it up, fold that whole section up, and then grab the entire backpack and flip it forward, and just about that far forward. Take the shoulders then and fold them down, flip them up, and they will... Whoop. Next, take the shoulders, make sure they're pulled all the way out, fold them down, flip them up, and then the tops of the shoulders right above the wheel well will peg into the backpack like that. And you just have to kind of futz, and I did that off camera, didn't I? I'm so sorry. Pull it all the way out, fold it up, and then just kind of wiggle it so that it gets lined up and pegs into place, like so. Next, come down to the feet, take the red sections, unpeg them, and flip them all the way out and down. We could flip the feet up, do that on the other side, out, down, flip the feet up, turn them so that the wheels are pointing to the back of the robot mode, unpeg from the knees, and flip them up. And don't peg them in yet, so unpeg it, that peg's real tight, so just be careful. And then fold it up, bring the entire section up like that, and then bring the legs together and snap them in. And you think you want to put them flush, but you do want to turn them in a little bit. And then the canopy has 2 pegs that will peg in up here, and that'll hold that together. Then fold the arms or shoulders in, and the shoulders will peg into one another, and they will peg in on these little pegs right back there. Fold the hands down and peg them into place. And we've got the vehicle mode, and plop the engine down and fold down the spoiler, and we're done. Vroomy, vroomy, zoomy. Yeah, I think this works. It is a little bit weird that the wheels don't line up, but I'm okay with that. Simply put, Override is fantastic. It is a great Transformers figure, it's got an amazingly fun transformation, and it's just cool. If this is what we're going to be getting from further figures into the Unicron trilogy, sign me the heck up. Metroplex was great. This figure is great. I'm really, really excited to see what else comes out from the Unicron trilogy. Rumor has it we're going to be getting a Armada Megatron. Rumor has it we're also getting a Leo Breaker. Yes, please, Hasbro. Bring them on. I'm ready to revisit that Unicron trilogy. So folks, what do you think of Override? Let me know down in the comments. Be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons while you're down there. Thank you so much for watching. I have been Baltmatrix, and I'll catch you all next time.